Today's devotion is about another woman of the Reformation, Idelette de Bure. This woman was known as one who was married to John Calvin. Now, her story didn't begin there. It began as a noble woman. It began as a woman who was married to John Stroeder in Strasbourg. They had 2 children, and John Calvin was the pastor of their local church. John was called to Strasbourg, and this Stroeder family was part of the early Reformation, the Anabaptists, which were those that first went away from the Catholic Church. And John was there. And during that time, John Stroeder and Idelette welcomed John Calvin into their home, listened to him preach, was there anytime he had offered Bible study or services, as they found their call to follow God in this way. Well, John Stroeder fell ill and died suddenly. And Idelette, hostess that she was, continued to open her house to the local pastor, John Calvin. She fed him and listened to his devotions. And as John was thinking about his own life and family to build, he thought of very specific characteristics that he would like in a wife, as one that was no longer part of the Catholic Church and could take on a wife. And he wanted her of certain character. There was one woman he had his eyes on, but she did not follow the reputation that he was so hopeful for. And his friends urged him to look no further than the beautiful Idelette, who was loving hostess to him all those years. They were forced to move from Strasbourg to Geneva, where they spent the rest of their years together. 9 years of marriage before Idelette died in 1549. And 15 years later, John Calvin also died. Her faith was in Jesus, and she lived that till her dying breath. She knew who God was, and she rested in who she was in that. She knew that her children who preceded her in death were with God, and she had faith in that. In her listening to John in devotions and probably challenging him and hearing him out, she was able to show God's love through her hospitality, opening her home and then her heart to other great people of faith. Thank you, Idelette. May we all find our calling in love.